Today I'm trying British food in the home of food. I'm here in Italy, specifically Rome, to try some of the British culinary delights here in Italy of all places. We've been to Egypt, we've been to Japan, we've tried British food in Benidorm. We're now here in Italy. Does this place do a good fry-up? Does it do good fish and chips? That's what we're here to find out. I guess we should go for breakfast first. Maybe they've got a full English. Look at that though. I always say it's much better from the outside than the inside. The inside's just sort of boring, bland, and a load of rock. Stick a swimming pool in there or something, make it interesting. Anyway, breakfast, fry up anyone? Okay, yes, so up first we are heading for breakfast and we are going to be going to a place called May, I don't know. It's a brunch and coffee speciality place, I don't know. Hopefully it should serve English breakfast, a full English breakfast. Let's head over there now. Okay, just finished up inside May, whatever it's called, and I've got some thoughts. Wow, that was a very interesting full English. There's definitely an Italian spin on it, but there were elements of it that were pretty good. Let me go through the whole thing. So look, first of all, you had most of the elements of a full English, okay, aside from the black pudding. I'm not a fan of black pudding anyway, so it wasn't a big deal to me that it wasn't there. It's not real food, is it? It's not proper food. The Italians have gone, do you know what, it's not proper food, we're not even going to put it on the plate. Fair enough. One thing that was missing, I was disappointed by, is no baked beans. You've got to have some beanage on the plate, otherwise you end up with a dry full English. You need a bit of liquid. Having said that, they did redeem themselves on a few of the factors. Good amount of mushroom. I'm not a big mushroom man, but I don't know whether they sautéed them, I don't know what they did to them. I'm making up words there, but there is something to them that made them taste quite good. Who are you beeping at? There's literally nothing to beep at. Very impressed with the bacon, crispy bacon. Okay, it was tangled and sort of mangled up together. It wasn't your sort of classic flat bacon. Very crispy, very tasty, and I personally, on a personal deep level, thoroughly enjoyed it. Now we're going to talk about the hash browns. I wouldn't have even known there were hash browns, but I did see on the menu it said it came with hash browns, so I was excited to see what they looked like. What the hell was that? Honestly, it was like a walk-around. I'm going to put economic sanctions on them at this rate, because that was ludicrous. It's not a hash brown, it's the worst part of the dish by a long way. I love a hash brown as well. Do a hash brown properly, Google it, Google what a hash brown is. It's not that. Do the thing that Google shows. Don't give me a sort of circle nonsense. Toast was decent, you can't really get that wrong, but they nailed it. Good quality bread, nice toastness. I don't know why do they have so much butter? Who's having that much butter on 2 slices of bread? Are you trying to kill me off? Honestly, I nearly OD'd on butter. It was crazy. But look, overall, that was not actually a bad full English, considering we are in Italy right now. I'd say that's a 7 out of 10. If you just nailed the hash browns, you would have had an 8, which is very strong for an Italian cafe. Also, can we quickly just talk about the coffee having tasting notes with it? Christ, it's a coffee. Grow up. Just drink it, for Christ. I mean, why are you telling me about what different flavours it's got? Why in God's name? Oh, it's a green man I'm walking across. It's a green man. You can't run me over. It's a green man. Why are you telling me about its sweetness, its body? What does that even mean? Its body? It's a coffee. It doesn't have a body without arms or legs. It's a coffee. The acidity of it. Hope it's not acidic. I'm drinking it. It's craziness. I don't need to know whereabouts in Brazil it was raised and born up. I don't need to hear its family history. I don't need to see its family tree. It's a coffee bean. Pop it in the hot water and serve me it. So that was a bit weird. Anyway, I'm still peckish. Okay, so next up we are going to head to a place that does something very British that I've not actually seen during these British food abroad videos. So I was quite surprised to find this here in Italy because it's very British. We are heading towards a place that does afternoon tea here in Rome. Afternoon tea, and it's quite a famous establishment apparently. I say famous, it's an old place. Anyway, let's head there now. Vatican, Pope is in there somewhere. Where the Pope's not very well lately, so hope he gets better soon. Shout out to him. Shout out to the Pope. Big him up. Let's get him some more followers out there. Come on. Go subscribe to them. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. I've been using them for coming up to 3 years now, so I'm not just doing this for the money. Although the money does sweeten the deal, but I do actually use them. I love using their service. I get home from a long day of travelling and the box is there. It's on my doorstep. It's like magic, also known as the postal service. They are giving you 50% off your first box, 20% off your next 2 months worth of boxes, and free desserts for life. You could be 109 years old. and they'll still be sending you free desserts. Look at them, they're so nice. I've only got one left. And the great thing is, if I'm not around or just don't fancy it this week, I can just skip a week, I can pause it, I can even cancel the subscription with just a click of a button. You're free to leave whenever you want. I also just like using HelloFresh to sort of try new foods out, to try new recipes, cook different things, still feel like I'm actually making stuff. So scan my QR code on screen now, get 50% off your first box, 20% off your next 2 months worth of boxes, and free desserts for life. Get them down, yeah. You can also use my link in the description below and use my code EDCHAP2025 to get your hands on this fantastic offer. Now back on with the video. Okay, up next we are going for lunch, and we're heading towards a place called Babington's. I think it was first founded in like 18 whatever, so it's quite old. It's an old place. I think it's quite fancy, and it's right next to the Spanish Steps, so it's going to be bloody touristy, no doubt. We're going to try and get afternoon tea, an English afternoon tea, no less, in there. But it's very busy here. It's all kicking off. I think it's busier than last time I was here. You can't move for people. You really can't. And we are heading to the place that's just literally right next door to the Spanish Steps. Curious to see the Italian take on afternoon tea. I've not really had that many afternoon teas, to be fair, but it's basically sandwiches and like a scone, isn't it? Yeah, and there's the Spanish Steps. No idea why they call it that, no idea the significance of them. Not quite sure why everyone gets a picture with them, but that is the Spanish Steps. Just a staircase. There you go, Babington's Tea Room and Cafe. Right, okay, just finished up at Babington's Tea Room. They sat me in between two Americans, my favourite people. They know me so well. I do just love them. I love it. They're great. It's fun. It's amazing. You can be sat really close to them on a table and they'll just talk really loudly about you. Look at them next to us. They're having English tea. I'm like within a metre of them. I don't know whether they assume I didn't speak English. Look at me. Look at the state of me. Obviously I speak English, but I just love it. The sort of loudness and not a care in the world is amazing. Look, finished up in there. And considering they've been open for, 130 plus years, they've got a few things to learn still. They haven't nailed the recipe. It was okay, it was fine, it wasn't amazing. Here's the thing, you've got to learn about making a good size scone. It was a Scottish scone, apparently. I don't know if I buy that. I'm not sure if I buy that. That's what it's on the menu. Are they a big exporter of scones in Scotland? I didn't know that. It wasn't that big. It wasn't. It was. I wanted a bigger one. I'll be honest. I know there was two of them, but I want a chunky, thick one. I don't want all this debate in the comments. Ed, you should have put the cream on first. No, you should have put the jam on first. No, it's scone. No, it's scone. I don't want that debate in the comments. I couldn't care less. I don't care which side you put jam on. It's all going down the same hole and it's all coming out the same anus. Just slop it on and shove it in your mouth. So scone is there to be eaten. It certainly wasn't the best afternoon tea or whatever this is that I've ever had. It was okay, it was fine. It was a 6 out of 10. The sandwiches, I think there was egg, there was cucumber, there was chicken, which I thought was going to be tuna, so that threw me off. Salmon was the other one. And they gave you 2 of each. That was, a decent amount, 8 little sandwiches. Some of the bread was a bit dry and some of the bread was quite nice. Overall, it was a bit weird. It was very 6 out of 10. Would I have known it had been around for 130 plus years had I had a blindfold on? No, it could have been any afternoon tea, to be honest. So yeah, look, can the Italians do an afternoon tea? No. I mean, it's fine. It's edible. If you're an American that's here and you want to pretend to be English for some reason whilst you're in Rome, by all means, pop along. It was kind of odd, though. I think it is just for Americans. That was all that was in there, me and just a load of Americans, so I was having a whale of a time. A lovely 6 out of 10 and a lovely £42 bill. 42 quid? I know I had a bit of water, sorry. Sue me for having a bit of water. Christ, £5. £5 for water, honestly. Babington's, whatever you're called. You were fine. Maybe in another 130 years they might get the recipe right, I don't know. Anyway, finished with afternoon tea. We're now going to go find tea. We are going to hopefully tracked down fish and chips here in Rome, in Italy. Fish and chips, mental stuff. Well, let's pop along, let's see if we can find a chippy. Yes, so up next we're heading to a place called Cafe Washington, which in theory should serve British fish and chips, or at least fish and chips anyway. Don't know how British they are, but I guess we'll have to see. Heading there now, hopefully they're going to be tasty, they're going to be delicious, they're going to be authentic. I don't know. I mean, we're in Italy. I mean, what can you expect, really? Anyway, let's pop in and I'll give you my thoughts afterwards. What's Italian fish and chips going to be like? Right, okay, just finished up at Cafe Washington, and I've got to say, that was better than I expected. For Italian fish and chips, I'm quite surprised. One thing I will say is, I noticed on the menu, before going there, that it has like an asterisk next to fish and chips on the menu. I think it means that it's frozen, basically. I think that's them saying, this is frozen, just so you know. I don't know if that's a legal thing you have to do here in Italy when something's from frozen, but I've got to say, it arrived very warm, very hot, and scolded myself at one point, in fact. The fish was very warm. It came with fries rather than your usual kind of fish and chip chips, which, you know, I prefer normal fish and chip, those kind of slightly thicker ones, but not too thick. But the fish was actually quite impressive. I've got to say, it was better than the Harrods fish and chips. Genuinely better than the fish that I had at Harrods. And this one we know for a fact was frozen, whereas the Harrods one we don't know. So I've got to say, it really did surprise me. It came with some sort of random bit of lettuce. I don't know what that was for. I don't know why, but it did. And that little bit of lettuce was like a sort of purple cabbagey type thing. I don't really know. It's from the lettuce family, I'm sure. Tartar sauce, that was good. I've not had that much tartar sauce in my time, but I've got to say it's up there. Overall, as a dish, you know, accompanied by the porn star martini, I've got to say, very impressive. Not world class, it was a small fish. I wish the fish was bigger. Had the fish been bigger, it would have been at least a 7 out of 10. It wasn't, and so I'm gonna have to give it a 6. It's a nice setting, some outdoor seating. I didn't sit outside, I'm not a mentalist. Too windy, too many people walking by. I don't want to have to sit around people smoking whilst doing my fish and chips. I don't want to have people walking past as I'm having my fish and chips, eyeing me up. Not because they're attracted to me, but because they're just looking at me. What are you doing, weird looking at a bloke in the street eating? So I sat inside, but the sun is setting. I mean, what a perfect setting for fish and chips. You know, the sun's setting, it's golden hour, and we've got purples in the sky, and it just adds, those hues in the sky just add something special when you're having fish and chips. The cocktail was damn strong. Jesus! I had to have a jug of water just to balance it out. I was worried I only had one. Right, folks, let's conclude about the British food here in Italy. I've got to say, it surprised me. It was better than I expected it to be. I had quite low expectations, and it rose above them. Fish and chips, I've got to say, better than the Harrods fish and chips, which made the press, by the way. Do you see that? Don't bother clicking on these articles, by the way. They're a load of rubbish. They're just basically text versions of the videos. I mean, how rubbish is that? We've contacted Tom Kettridge and his team for comment. Why? Because I said it was rubbish. It was rubbish. You don't need them to comment on it. They probably know it was rubbish. Overall, Italy, I think you've done a decent job there on British food. There's room for improvement, obviously, but I've got to say you've done better than some other countries in terms of replicating the authenticity of it. Particularly that full English. That wasn't that far off. You cocked it up with the hash browns. Like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.